Hello, Coach Matheson again, going over the basics of defense. Defensive 101 for youth football. What I've gone ahead and done is drawn an offensive lineup, which in our program, this particular formation is referred to as slinger. But on the defensive side of the ball, we also have different formations. This formation is referred to in our program as eagle. And it is also more commonly referred to on the TV for the professionals as a 5-3 or a 53 or an odd man defense. That is because we have 5 men lined up on the line of scrimmage. That makes it an odd man front. Another very common and very popular for us is an even front, where we would only have 4 here, and one of the ends here would rotate out and become a linebacker. That would be a 4-4. And there's lots of different combinations. In fact, on the NFL this weekend, I saw a program that only had 2 up here, and they had 5 back here, and they had more guys back here. So there's lots of different variations, but this is a basic 101 description of how defense is called. So we have a defensive end, defensive tackle, a defensive nose guard, which is right on the nose of the ball, the defensive tackle, and another defensive end, to make things very simple. Now, these are the linebacker or the linemen. The next group of players are in the middle. They are in a support role, or they are linebackers, because they are backing up the linemen. Simple enough. Now, on the outside, when we have receivers out here, we have a cornerback with a C and another cornerback with a C. And in our program, we have one person out here called a free safety. This is oftentimes referred to as a cover 1, meaning one player has to cover all 53 yards wide of the football field. There's different combinations where you drop one of these gentlemen back and it goes into cover 2, so they have only half the field. And that gets into, depending on what the offense is showing us in terms of their formation, might require more of a pass-oriented. This is more of a straight defensive run formation, run-stopping formation against a program like this. The odd front or the even front are both excellent formations, and it depends on the personnel and the packages that you like to run as a coach and within the system. So, just like on the offense, which has numbers for the spots where they're supposed to run here, remember, even sides are to that side of the ball. 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7. The defense has a similar way, but they make it a little bit easier and it's a little more balanced because we don't know, is the offense going to this side or the offense going to that side. So what we do is we label them as gap, G-A-P, gap control defense. We're all about identifying a particular spot. So the spot that's located between the center and the guard is referred to as the A gap for apple, or A gap. The next spot, if you loop out here between the guard and the tackle, or the guard and the tackle out here, that's referred to as the B gap, or bob, B. C is that next spot out here, and D is anywhere beyond to the sideline or beyond to the sideline on this side. So it's A, B, C, D as responsibility. And that tells all of these players where they are to focus on. Now, because we can't know what the offense is automatically going to do, we have to guess based off of how they line up. What side has more players on that they are more likely to, play the odds that they're going to run to this side, because they have 3 big, strong linemen on top of the center here. to this side. Okay, on this side, they only have two, and a player who is normally more of a running back or not quite as big and as strong as these gentlemen are, but usually faster and has other responsibility, we refer to this as the weak side. So in an offense like this, normally they're going to want to run to their strength if it is a power running play. In that case, these linemen all line up the exact same way no matter what that situation is. Sometimes they shift based off of where this player is. If he's out here, he might shift out or he might shift in. But that's a nuance of the game. Now, who are these linebackers? Well, they all have names as well. The middle linebacker, or the M linebacker, is lined up in the middle, and his nickname is Mike. Mike, for middle linebacker. Since we identified this side of the offense to be the weak side, or not quite as many big, powerful players on this side, we refer to him as Will, for the weak side. And the opposite is also true. This is the strong side, so he tends to be the strong outside linebacker, or his name is Sam. Sam. So we have the boys are usually referred to as the linebacker. The boys, because they all have boys' names. Cornerback, and free safety. Because he's free to roam all over the field, and in fact, he has responsibility for that whole area. So, if we have a gap control or defense like we do, and we don't know where they're running, we have the defense responsible for certain spots. If this nose guard is responsible for this spot, this A gap, we need someone to be responsible for the opposite one, which tends to be this player, the middle linebacker. And works the same thing for the will, and the weak side goes the outside here. If he goes to the inside, he goes to the outside. He has outside here. So now we look like we have defensive players covering from one side of the field to the next, one person deep, and hopefully they'll be able to stop any run and do what they're supposed to do. If these players see them running up this way with the ball, these players, where they have to focus here as their first priority, they can flow to the ball, and oftentimes you'll get multiple linebackers who tend to be really quick on their feet and very strong players, and they tend to flow to the ball. I refer, and when I talk to our players, I tell them to fill and kill. Go in and attack. These are some of the most aggressive players, and they have to be some of the most athletic players. These have to be very disciplined and very powerful players. The outside players, the perimeter players, they tend to be the fast guys, and who are having to keep up with the really fast offensive players who are running pass plays. They are out here all by themselves a lot of the time, and it's very difficult for them to do that. But with proper training and proper practice, they can usually handle most situations. So this is a basic idea of how a defense is referred to, or an odd man front. With this, they can run all kinds of different combination of blitzes, which is where they are not just going here, but they actually are trying to get all the way in the backfield to try to catch the offense off guard. But that's for another more complicated video and explanation of different blitzing packages and combination. But I hope this helps you understand a little bit of basics of defense in the youth football. Please come out and cheer your youth team on every opportunity you can. Thank you.